Do you guys want to know more on the Netflix original series Jessica Jones and Daredevil? Well, please welcome to the stage the head of Marvel TV and the executive producer of those series, Jeff Loeb.
I'm going to do something that's totally unscripted. I'm going to get myself in so much trouble. I'll be right back. Promise New York that I always bring you something. That's about as close as you're going to get for right now for seeing what the Defenders look like. There was really no other way to do that. And to everybody at Netflix, I'm really sorry. But I get to make it up because now I get to thank the people at Netflix who made all of this possible. In particular, can you believe how heavy I'm breathing? Ted Sarandos, Ali Gross, Sydney Holland, Chris, you ninja that you're out there, Hennigman, Allison Engel, thank you so much for the incredible support you guys have given us from the very beginning, allowing us to make not just one series, but 5 unbelievable series that you guys have been incredible about. And on the flip side of that, you know, the folks at Marvel, Dan Buckley, Alan Fine, and the incredible Mike Masciullo and his entire marketing and PR team that have been working their collective off. It's been an incredible thing to bring everybody here. You're going to get to see stuff, hear stuff. I have been reminded that some of the material that we show in these shows is mature. And so for those of you that have children that are here, I'm sorry. I'll just get in more trouble. But, you know, just you should know that that's what you did. You came to this panel. If you have not already seen Daredevil, you should. And that'll give you a pretty good sense as to what's going on. Speaking of not having seen Daredevil, I need a little something. I need a little something because there may be some people backstage that want to hear this. Here's what I'd like to do. Could this side of the room yell, dare? And could this side of the room yell, devil? Okay, clearly this side of the room is asleep. So, dare. You woke up. Devil. Dare. Devil. Dare. Devil. Dare. Devil. Just so you know, you are the first people to ever see on this planet any footage from season 2. This show does not get made without an awful lot of talented people, some of which are in the audience. Jim Corey, Kareem Zrake, Sam Thomas, Emma Thompson, Matt O'Brien. They are up every single night because in case you haven't looked at it lately, we shoot a lot of nights. Among those people that are really responsible for the show in season 1, I have to give a big shout out to Drew Goddard and to Stephen Ness tonight. In season 2, I'd like to bring out some folks that are absolutely responsible for what's going on. I want to start off with our Chief Creative Officer and the man whose vision has been driving us through all of this, and that's Joseph Quesada. JQ. Our co-showrunners this season, Doug Petrie and Marco Ramirez, worked unbelievably closely in the writer's room in the first season, and so we gave them the show in the second one, and boy, are we glad we did. Doug and Marco. You all went crazy during that clip, and you're going to go even more crazy when you meet her. Elodie Young plays Elektra. You were screaming so loud you couldn't even hear the one line of dialogue that he gave. But I know that you're all waiting to see him. John Barenthal plays Frank Castle. He is the heart and soul of Daredevil, and many people would argue he is the heart and soul of the Marvel Universe. He is played superbly by Eldon Henson. He plays Foggy Nelson. Eldon, come on out. There's not much that I can say other than if you have a heartbeat, you have fallen in love with Deborah Ann Wall playing Karen Page. I said it to you last year. You guys proved it to us by coming and making us one of the most popular shows on Netflix, making us so that we could have a second season of the show, getting everyone to believe in us in a way that was brand new and unique, and it's because of his enormous talent. He is the leader of our ship, and we could not stand behind a better person. Charlie Cox plays Matt Murray. Take a seat. Guys, it's been an interesting year. We'll start down. JQ, that's Joe Quesada. JQ, this has been a dream for you from the very beginning, and one of your favorite characters, if not your favorite character. Tell us what it's been like, just seeing this come to life.
It's been pretty remarkable. I mean, Daredevil was one of the characters I've always loved at Marvel, and it was a character that brought me back to Marvel. And quite frankly, I wouldn't have my role at Marvel if it wasn't for the character. So to see it brought to life, not just with the incredible stories that these gentlemen are writing, but just the performances of our incredible cast. It is, I couldn't have drawn it any better, I guess is the only way I could say it. It's pretty phenomenal.
I think we'd all like to give a big shout out to anybody from the crew that's here. It is the hardest working crew that's out there. Doug and Marco, you guys were in the room, watched this come together, and then were handed it with a great big bow tie that said, "Don't screw it up." tell us what you're doing this season as much as you possibly can't.
I'll go. All right. Hi, everybody. I think a lot of what we were doing last season was wondering in our writers' room whether or not there was a place in a world that was very saturated with superhero stories, at least in the TV aspect of it. Is there a place for dark, gritty, sophisticated, grounded, whatever you want to call it, content? And I think because of the fan reaction, which was overwhelming and wonderful, we got a loud answer, like, yes, go right ahead. And so now that that exists and we know that there's something there, it feels like, okay, you buffoons. Now, if you wanted grounded, you wanted dark, here's Elektra, here's Punisher. You asked for it.
Yeah, I got to go with everything Marco said, mostly because he got a big round of applause. I think, you know, every day you go into work and you know, I hesitate to use the word blessing, but it's such a blessing because all of us across the board, the cast, the crew, the writers, the Marvel guys, the Netflix guys, we love two things, and one of them is Matt Murdock, and the other is the world that Matt Murdock navigates. And this year, you know, last year, Stephen, Drew, love those guys. What a great job of introducing that world. And now with the Punisher and Elektra, we get to test it and take it further and darker and more emotional and just take it where, you know, I got to tell you, we're fans too. So the stuff that you want to see, we want to see, and we can't wait to show it to you.
Elodie, what's it like playing Elektra?
It's a lot. It's intense, it's exciting, and I can't be more happy, really.
Now, you also, just so the audience knows, you can kick ass too. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
But in real life as well. Like, tell us a little bit about some of the things that you are actually quite adept at.
I'm a black belt of karate. Anyone interested? I did Muay Thai, yeah. And I actually booked the job because Jeff Lobb asked me, are you really a martial artist? Can you really do something with it? I'm like, yeah, basically I can kick your ass. And I got the job.
Speaking of kicking ass, Eldon, John, this is a part that very early on, I mean, even before we had decided we were going to do this was something that your guys reached out to us and that you and I certainly had conversations about. This is a role that really meant something to you. This is a part that you really wanted to play. Can you talk a little bit about what it's like to play Frank Castle?
Look, I know how important this character is to you guys. You know, I know that, and I know how important this show is to you guys, and I know how important he is to law enforcement, to the military, and you know, I look at this as a huge honor, a huge responsibility. And I give you my absolute word. I'm going to give everything that I have, and I couldn't be surrounded by a better group of people.
Eldon, you know, you're in, you know, this other little franchise called the Hunger Games, and yet, as you can tell, there's much love for the Fog, So, how is your life? Is your life different now that you're Foggy? Do people yell Foggy at you on the street? Like, what's going on?
Yes, people yell at me quite a bit. Sorry, it's weird to hear my voice through a microphone. I'm not used to talking into a microphone. But you know what's funny is a lot of people get really mad at me. Just like strangers on the street will stop me and be like, "Why were you mad at your friend? He's a superhero. That's awesome. Why would you be mad at him?" And I have to explain to them that I don't actually write the show. But it's changed completely. I feel very lucky to be here. Thank you all for coming.
Deb, is there anybody in this room that doesn't have a crush on Deb? That's all I want to know. So Deb, when we left, you guys laugh. When we last left you,
Yes.
You and Mr. Murdoch were looking into each other's eyes, and I guess what they want to know is, this season, are we gonna see a little bit more of Matthew Murdoch and Karen Page, besides being around the office?
Besides being around the office? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know how far I can go really talking about specifics, but I will say that Charlie Cox over here is one of my favorite people I've ever gotten to work with. He is absolutely an incredible actor, the kind of person who you can disrupt. You know, when you're working, they actually hear what you say and can respond. So it's been a privilege this season.
Deborah, she's a nightmare to work with.
Charlie. I think they like you. and I know you well enough to know that you ride with that very well, and that you, in addition to playing blind, in addition to a flawless American accent, by the way, it's not the British accent that he's putting on, in addition to going out and doing incredible stunt work and working ridiculous hours, all of those things, what have you learned from playing Matthew? What has it been for you in the last year and now going into the new season?
Oh, wow. You know, I think I spoke a little bit about this last season, about, you know, my apprehension about playing someone who's known as the man without fear. Just because I worry that if portraying someone who is incapable of feeling fear on a television show is not that interesting. You know, I think you need to see people. It robs you of one of my favorite characteristics in people, which is courage. And I think that to answer your question, the thing I've learned the most from working with these amazing people and from playing this extraordinary character who is, you know, changing my life, is courage. You know, how much courage it takes to be a vulnerable human, but also a vulnerable superhero. It's a cool journey to be on.
Awesome. We're going to open it up now to you guys out there to ask a few questions. I think there's a microphone. I'm going to start over here.
Thank you.
Is that microphone there? Hi.
Yeah,
hi. How are you?
I can't stand up. Sorry about that. Hi. First of all, thank you guys so much for this incredible show. I want to start by asking Charlie, actually, what was it like playing a character who's, you know, visually disabled, and how is that for you, like interacting with fans maybe who have feelings about that? Like, how is that for you?
Could you just repeat it?
Sorry, yeah. What is it like playing a character who is blind, and how has it been like interacting with fans maybe who are also, you know, visually disabled, and how's the reception been?
Yeah, it's been a really very cool experience. First of all, acting blind is incredibly challenging, both for me, but also for the cast members that I work with, because as an actor, one of the things that you rely on so much in scenes is to you draw your emotion out of the other person, you know, and so much of that comes from eye contact. So it's really challenging, I think, for all of us when we're working on those scenes, because we don't get that, you know. I can't look anyone in the eye, and they similarly can't look me in the eye. So from a practical point of view, it's very difficult. And yeah, I was really blessed. I was actually invited to the American Foundation for the Blind, and I was given an award there, and I've become associated with them. And that has been so rewarding and so such a kind of a blessing that I never expected. You know, it's one of the things I love about Daredevil is that he's one of the few superheroes who has a disability.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Over here.
Hi. My name's David. I'm actually from about 5 blocks away. But actually, in following up to that question, I'm actually a teacher of the visually impaired and blind. And one of the things I wanted to let you know is I've talked to coworkers, students about it. And one of the things that's really nice is the way you change your affect depending on it. And you've got some of the characteristics in the affect. So I just want to know, where did you study for the, you know, what kind of research did you do to follow up for that affect?
So I was introduced to and worked very closely with a man called Joe Strechay, who's also affiliated with the American Foundation for the Blind. He's an extraordinary man, and you know, when I was preparing for the role, we would go out, and I joke a little bit. There was one day we went out, and I wore a blindfold, and he guided me, and he's blind. So it was a literal case of the blind leading the blind, and you know, whenever I have a question, I call him up. We worked on cane technique. We did household chores. I made a cup of tea. I burnt myself pretty badly. You know, we had a scene this year where we play pool in a bar, and you know, the first thing I did was call him up and say, you know, when you play pool, what do you do? How does that work? And he gives me all the information, and it's just about keeping him very close. We had him on set a lot as well. And it's, you know, just trying to make sure that you cover all those bases and that you find an authenticity to it.
Thank you. Over here.
Hi, I'm Jonah.
Hi, Jonah.
Hi.
Hey, Jonah.
Hi. So what I was wondering was, Eldon, we talked about this before, about how the show and the fame of it affected him. I was wondering how, because it's been about 6 months since the show came out, and I was just wondering how it all really affected you guys. And also, even those who haven't been on the show, yet your names have been everywhere because you're associated with such large characters.
It's a great idea. Let's start. Elodie, do you find that people already know that you're Elektra? Has it come out? Have you been found on the streets? Do people follow you?
No. Can't wait for that.
Well, we'll ask that question again in about a year, and it'll be different. John, is the Punisher following you around?
I mean, yeah, 15, 20 times a day, you better not mess this up, man. You know, that's I hear you. I hear you.
That's just from Jeff Loeb.
The other 10 are me, actually. So.
And that's just Joe calling me to tell him that. So, Deb, has your world been turned around a little bit? I mean, you had True Blood all those years, and now this.
Thank you so much. Honestly, I don't get stopped that often, and when I do, I always get, you know who you look like? So I must look like a hobo when I walk around because I really don't get stopped very often.
Over here.
Hi guys, I'm Faith. I'm from New Jersey, and my question is actually about costuming. I'm a big costumer, big fan of all of the clothes you guys wear on the show, and what would you say is like your favorite costume that you wore throughout the series, even for the new guys? Like, is there a particular piece that you're attached to?
Well, you know what? I'd love to take that over to Joe Quesada. Joe, you've been very instrumental.
I don't wear any of the costumes.
I know you don't wear the costume.
Just so you know.
So
that you know of.
In terms of the look of, not just, it was your original drawing that gave us what we refer to as the vigilante look, which a lot of you I've seen out there dressed, which is cool. And then Into the Red. And then this year, there's obviously some concern on the parts of everybody here as to what Elektra and Frank Castle are going to be wearing. what's the process that you've
You
gone
know,
through?
the process is like everything that we do at Marvel, it's collaboration. So, you know, I may have an idea, or one of our designers may have an idea. The red Daredevil costume that you saw in season 1 was designed by the brilliant Ryan Meinerding, who does most of the great costumes that you see at the Marvel movies. This year, we're working with a wonderful young designer named Joshua Shaw, he's our guy now, and he's been working on some costumes for a couple of other characters that I think might be here. And the goal ultimately, as we design these things, guys, it's with you guys in mind. You know, we want to make sure that you guys love the costumes, embrace the costumes, and even though we may have to do tweaks here and there for the medium, we want them to be recognizable, and you guys have embraced it, and thank you. You know, it's been really cool, and you know, and by the way, these guys look great in this stuff too. That's the other thing. I'm getting seeing the shots come in, the photos from the fittings, and going, oh, this is so awesome. So yeah, hopefully you dig it.
Over here.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm actually from the city. One of my favorite parts of the show this season was all the cool flashbacks, and I was wondering if there was any potential for some more flashbacks in season 2.
Doug, Marco, I'm going to dodge that and let you guys dodge it as well. So, are there going to be any flashbacks?
We're definitely, it's a really interesting question because I'm not allowed to answer it.
That's good news.
What we deal with, Marco and I and all our writers, is how do you really fully explore these characters? And sometimes it necessitates a flashback. And sometimes what we realized, without saying too much, but looking to my right, we have this incredible cast. And sometimes you want to peel back what do they call it, the layers of the onion of a character through flashback, which is a really great way of doing it. And sometimes when you got a group like this, when you got this great group, two people in a room talking about something that happened to them can have all the power in the world. So that's something that we get to pick and choose. And we think we're making the best choices in that regard.
Over here.
Hi.
Come on, how deftly handled was that? Come on.
Yeah.
Very well.
He's a ninja. Hi, I'm James from the Albany area. Mr. Moderator, earlier you said the Punisher had a line during the trailer that unfortunately I couldn't hear because of my friends from Albany being just too loud, too excited. So, if that's true, Mr. Punisher, sir, could you please repeat it for us?
I don't think you know. I don't think you know. They didn't see the trailer.
Oh, okay.
But that's an awesome question. Hold that thought.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a little ninja over here that I haven't seen before.
This is going to be our last question.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Mr. Loeb. I was wondering if you could show that clip again.
Oh. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Our friends would very much like us to take because I know you guys want to too as well. If the cast and everybody could come out in front of the table, we could take a quick picture, and then after that, we'll run the clip.
Hey, can I just say thanks to all you guys, because it's your enthusiasm that brings us here, and we love it so much. Thanks a lot, guys.
We're going to do this really fast. Like, don't come running up here. That's a really bad idea. Come around in front.
I want to say thank you for being understanding about that.